Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new series. A revamped series. Gone is the funniest tweets. Hello, best reactions. And this time, it's the Australian Grand Prix 2025, the first race of the season. Now, how is it going to work out? Well, you're going to kind of learn as you go along. First and foremost, people that are commenting, where's funniest tweet? Where's it gone? Why have you not posted yet? If you've been a P1 watcher for a while, you'll know that the podcast goes out first if it was a relatively interesting race. And then on the Monday, today, we put this episode out just in case. And if we have a stinker, then of course this will go out first in the podcast on the Monday. However, we are here. What's the layout? Okay, so I've curated a top 10. So we're going to go from 10 to 1. But also, we're going to throw in some non-hashtag P1 stuff as well. I've got so many things to tell you. I'm trying to think of the best way to tell you. So the hashtag P1 people that get involved, you are the lifeblood of this series. The winner, which is not Tommy's Tasty Tweet, it's just number one, get some P1 merch, and we will contact you and we'll get you some P1 merch, and that is the prize across the whole year, because we want to give back to you guys, and I know a lot of you are a fan of the merch. So that is the plan with that. We've got a few little surprise segments along the way as well. I'm not going to explain everything. Why am I wearing my headphones? I don't need that. I need that later when I talk to Tommy. You see, everything is kind of a little bit new. Let's get into the top 10. Okay, in 10th position, we have Mish at That LARP Chick. Actual scenes of me today, also being cold and pelted with rain at the track. Big shout out, by the way, to any of you that go to races and then tune into our watch-alongs or live streams saying, hey, I'm at turn 3. I'm like, well, if you're at turn 3, why are you looking at mine and Tommy's ugly mugs? You should be there looking at, even if it's just the track with no cars on it. Anyway, love the commitment from you all. And of course, this is, if you were a Sainz, Lawson, Hadjar doing Behrman and Piastri, there were a lot of heartbreaks out there for the first race of the season. Obviously, if you're rooting for the rookies, bar basically Antonelli, you were going to be upset. And just horrible conditions to start a lot of drivers' F1 careers. But I guess the good thing to say to this is that it's awesome to see so many rookies out there. Yes, they're learning on the job. Yes, they may well be, including, more so Hadjar, for example, very emotional, very upset. But they've got the season, hopefully, fingers crossed, to learn from this. They hadn't driven those cars in the wet. So give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt for sure. And we will see how they get on moving forward. Number 9, at El Marmos. Matt, we are so back, Ferrari. Yes, we are. You've probably seen the clip, haven't you? You have, where these eyes they went from complete and utter depression, dismay, to belief. They just glossed over for 30 seconds when we saw a Ferrari 1-2. Ignore the fact they were on hard tyres and everybody behind them were on intermediates. We'll ignore that, because when the safety car came out, I believed in the sun gods. I thought the clouds, the dark, murky clouds that were causing moisture, would just open up. Bring us the warmth, the warm Australian sun. That did not happen, and they pit the next lap, and depression soon came back to me. At 97, Cerberus. I promise you they're not all Ferrari memes, but you can imagine there was a lot to talk about for the Ferrari drivers. That was the worst race strategy-wise. Worst strategy so far. Lewis Hamilton really did have his first race for Ferrari sort of matched up to our kind of expectations if we thought Ferrari were going to come into it how they have done sometimes, where they make a little bit of a strategy blunder, give some strange team radios. They were kind of ticking off all the checklists of things that we kind of find quite funny, but also very painful for Ferrari fans, obviously. Hamilton just could not get the communication right with his engineer, which I'm surprised about, because maybe they haven't spoken about it prior, but leave me to it. Clearly, that is not understood in the world of Italy and the Ferrari team pit team wall, because they did not stop talking. K1, use K1, Lewis. Yes, I understand. Leave me to it. K1, use DRS. K1. It was quite hard to listen to because you could tell Hamilton was just getting more and more frustrated, then obviously as well left out on dry tyres. It was a baptism of fire for Hamilton in his first Ferrari race, and you could tell after in his post-race interviews and stuff, he's like, smile through the pain. You've gone to Ferrari, own it. It can only get better from here, right? Now, before we get into P7, I want to show a clip that made me laugh a huge amount from a creator, F1 creator called Pondon, who also does live streams and things like that. And it's great to have other F1 creators in the space. And I saw this come up on my social media. Just take a look at this.
I can't believe so many of you guys said Kimi and Lawson. If the Williams goes from the second worst car in the grid to best the rest beating Kimi and Liam, I'll eat my dick raw on stream.
just so direct and it was so unexpected from Pond. It just made me laugh so much. And this is what happens, right? Us as creators, we will say things with our chest that we believe, and then they will go completely wrong. Not just because we might lack a little bit of wheel knowledge, but also Formula One is in such an unpredictable phase. Yes, McLaren are fastest, but I mean, the first race of the season, crazy. The qualifying, we had amazing standouts that we maybe didn't expect. So yes, Pondon, will you be going through with it? Okay, P7, at Sarah Leonard. Me waking up at 5 a.m. just to see 3 laps in the first 25 minutes. I don't know if this is going to be a running trend for the rest of the season. It did feel like we deserved at least one red flag. I don't know about you guys, but there were crashes. There were multiple crashes, I think, at one point, or at least spins, that I thought deserved a red flag. But we didn't get it. And we just kept circulating behind the safety car. I don't know the exact number, but it felt like at least 10 laps behind the safety car, if not more. And I'm sat there, and I mentioned this on the podcast. Why, and it might be due to tyre temperatures, brake temperatures, things like that, but maybe they can go out for a couple of laps. But why don't they just, if they expect it to be multiple laps behind the safety car, but they don't want to throw a red flag, pop them in the pits. Just put them in the pit lane exit, let them sit there, they can sort out the drama, and then they peel out the pits again, behind the safety car, maybe 2 laps to try and generate some tyre temperature, and we go again. Instead, because we're not able to get more time, we don't get added on time, we have a set amount of laps, and that's it. And you kind of feel a little bit robbed when these things happen. So I do wonder, I'm sure there are reasons behind it, but for me, kind of spitballing at this point. Do you agree? Now, before we dive into any more, I just want to say, if you're enjoying this series, if you're enjoying the new P1 content for this year, I've seen the views. It seems like a lot of you are excited, and thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe. I know you watch. I know you get it in your algorithm sometimes. We pop up. Oh, it's a Matt and Tommy video. I'll click on that. Just subscribe. And then you will have those videos in a subscription feed. And you can come and join us all the time. All right, P6, Dan Shep 95. Lewis and his engineer. Use DRS. Leave me to it, please, mate. Use DRS. Leave me alone. Use DRS. Oh, my goodness gracious me. Is this going to be the relationship for Hamilton and Ferrari the entire year? Surely not. They just need to... Hamilton needs to go, okay, if I want you to be quiet, I will just say, stop. And then communications are stopped. Maybe Hamilton, because I know he's saying about learning the buttons on his steering wheel. Do you think he might suggest a mute button or a deafen if you're on Discord and you know where you literally can't hear the team comms? I don't think that would, in an actual realistic world work, because he needs to be told things from his team. But maybe there's a button that goes, "Don't speak to me unless absolutely necessary." Use K1. Okay, we are now on to another brand new segment. We're revamping it up this year. A lot of exciting things in the Best Reaction series. And this one is controversial opinion. That's correct. So we will pick one, whether it's from our Patreon or over on social media, on our P1 accounts. And myself and Tommy. Tommy, you're here.
Hello.
You're ready to either agree with the controversial opinion or shoot it down entirely.
Or roast it. We're about to find out.
Yeah. Okay, so the controversial opinion is from Giorgio Di Maria. Piastri completely bottled it. Ooh, hold me back. Hold me back, Tom Bellingham, because I am going to completely disagree with this controversial opinion. I'm sorry, Giorgio. Thank you for getting involved. However, sometimes in Formula One, things are just a little bit unlucky. What I will say is that Lando did very well to scrub off the speed and get back onto the track early. Oscar, obviously a little bit more speed in there, doesn't manage to slow down the car as much, then takes to the grass, which of course is rather moist at that point. Should have used a better word. And then he just slides off onto the grass. And how often do you genuinely see a car beached in grass? Hardly at all. But that was the conditions that we had. So for me, I don't think he bottled it. I think he showed a huge amount of potential moving forward into the season. Tommy, what do you think?
I think Oscar drove brilliantly, and like he said in his post-race interview, which was absolutely gutting to hear, that he drove such a good race apart from one corner where he went off, and desperately unlucky. Like you said, you don't often see people getting beached in the grass, so you probably didn't expect that to happen. The fact that he had the kind of willingness to reverse it out and carry on, but he was so quick during that race, and he caught Lando up at the start of the race, looked very, very quick indeed, and I don't think he bottled it at all. It's just very, very unfortunate. So many people went off at that corner on that lap. Leclerc spun, Tsunoda went off. You saw so many people
Behrman
going off in that race. Behrman as well, yeah. Loads
there was
of
a lot
people.
of mistakes out there, and I know some people might argue, but Max didn't go off. He was on medium tyres.
And he's the best driver in F1.
Yeah, and he's also incredible. Yeah, don't get me wrong. But he went off earlier on in the race. He made a mistake as well. Like, mistakes were out there. And also, I want to say as well, from the bottle it side of things, you've kind of tapped upon it there, Tommy. He, in my opinion, saved Lando Norris's race at the same time. Yes, he made the mistake. However, if he was stuck there, safety car gets deployed, Max gets a free pit stop, and he comes out ahead of Lando.
That's very true. Never thought about that one.
Yeah. So if Oscar hadn't had the presence of mind, which, he made the mistake. He made the mistake, everyone. Yes. But then people make mistakes. He made the mistake, but he had the presence of mind, like, Hamilton and Imola, as you mentioned, I think, on the pod earlier. He reversed out and he kept going. And that
he probably wishes it was the safety car and Lando finished 7th based on that McLaren pace this year.
Yes, maybe. But I don't think he bottled it at all. Going to shut down this controversial opinion. In the bin it goes. Thank you, Giorgio, for getting involved anyway. Thank you, Tommy, for being involved in this series as always.
Goodbye.
Bye. Awesome to get Tommy back on the series with controversial opinion of the week. We're now into the top 5, and it is Mega versus Primus. Leakage? If you have a seat full of water, you have a seat full of water. Add that to the words of wisdom. Yes, it was not a dream. That actually happened. We had Ferrari. Again, I'm sorry that so many memes about Ferrari, but this is supposed to be funny things, and these were funny things. I did genuinely laugh out loud when Leclerc was obviously worried that his car was filling with water and was like, well, I know it's raining, but it's not supposed to be filling my cockpit up as much as usual. I'm sure Leclerc's driven in many a wet race. He knows what it's like. Must be the water. What? Why don't they just say, no problems with the car, don't worry about it, or something like that? But instead, just repeats back what Leclerc said was in the car. Anyway, absolutely bizarre. Obviously, Will Buxton has left Formula One. Perhaps he has popped on an Italian accent and gone to Ferrari. But not the most crisp team radio comms from Ferrari in race 1. P4. Oh my God! It's basically a Ferrari episode. I'm really sorry. At Random Juve Fan, drop the book, Charles. Words of Wisdom, Tales of Ferrari. Can you imagine the book that Charles Leclerc could create? A tell-all after he's left Ferrari about how much he's had to cope with and deal with in terms of team radio and everything else. I would buy it for sure, straight away. So thank you, Random Juve Fan, P4. Now, before we get into the podium, I want to bring up a certain comment, and I'm going to show Autosport's post that they did, and it's about Helmut Marko. So let me just let me just get into my frame of mind that I want to be about this. Okay. Helmut Marko was asked about Isaac Hadjar's emotional first race in F1. He said, the tearful show, that was a bit embarrassing. Gone are the days that we need people like that to be in Formula One. This is not 20 years ago where this was kind of seen as the norm and accepted, where, yes, Formula One is cutthroat. Formula One is the pinnacle. You need to deliver. But you also don't need to be a dick. You just don't. Like, Isaac Hadjar is a young, prospective talent. He was graded an A-tier driver by the same man that then said it was embarrassing. Just have a bit of empathy. In this day and age, that is at the least someone like Isaac Hadjar deserves. He knows how badly he screwed up. You could tell. So why do you have to add fuel to the fire and say stuff like this, which is only going to mount more pressure on him? He's probably going to have more sleepless nights thinking about that moment over and over and over again. Cut away to that and go to Anthony Hamilton. What a goat. Going up to Isaac Hadjar, consoling him, giving him a few words of comfort, and that will go such a long way. The Red Bull environment of being cutthroat, fine, to some degree, but this is just unacceptable. It really is. You don't need to go and slander your own driver in the camp that you work for after the first race of their career. Okay, it wasn't really a race, of course, but just don't be horrible. How about those apples? So was just gone are the days we need people like that in Formula One. So, or just stop putting a microphone in front of him. I know sometimes he gives us insight into what the Red Bull camp are thinking and who they're trying to go for. Just stop giving him a mic. Done. On to the podium we go. And it's from GR231212. Ferrari be like, oh, for God's sake. Okay, I'm a fight for the constructors. Damn, Sauber got hands. Kick Sauber have more points in the Constructors' Championship than Ferrari after the first race of the season. And no, it's not like 1-0. Hülkenberg got 7th. Hülkenberg got 7th. Ferrari got 8th and 10th. I beg the top two. I can't even remember what my top two were. If either of them were Ferrari, I might burst a blood vessel. In second place, oh, thank God it's not about Ferrari, Alex Humphrey, 33. Absolute cinema. Fans excited to be back. Way, woo! New season. What's to be expected? 6 DNFs, rain, 4 safety cars, Albon P4, Lando win, Oscar heartbreak, 7 constructors in points, formation and opening lap crashes. And you probably should have thrown in there like 15 safety car laps. Fighting the tiredness. But a lot to digest. And we're already into race week for China. So what on earth is that going to bring as well? Only Lord knows. But yeah, it was Australia just delivered. It gave great old school vibes having Australia as the opening round of the season. Obviously for us in Europe, getting up really early, just being excited. And I'm looking forward to the season. I really am. As much as McLaren looked the fastest, we still have hope. Ferrari bringing upgrades. Maybe. And in P1, first position in the first best reactions of 2025 is Mr. Idiot. Yep, no, yeah. Okay, this one is Ferrari. Okay, but it's a good one. Okay. Dad, there is a monster under my bed. And it's... Tommy is my dad. And under it is Hamilton and Leclerc in 9th and 10th at that point. Goodness gracious me. I really hope moving forward we won't have as many Ferrari memes, which usually means they've put in a decent performance, maybe on the podium, maybe they've won. But well done, Mr. Idiot. You've won the first episode. You've got some P1 merch on the way. Feel free to message us. We'll get in contact with you and we'll figure that out. So yeah, that pretty much sums up the first episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's revamped. We kind of more sort of quantity over quality. We can kind of go into it a little bit more with each one, throwing a few different things out of the P1 verse as well to kind of chat about, get angry about, get happy about, whatever. Let us know in the comments your feedback, because of course you are the reason that myself and Tommy literally exist. So yeah, we'll keep an eye out on that. Hashtag P1 if you want to be involved for future episodes and maybe win yourself some P1 merch. And that is it. Thank you, everybody. Looking forward to the rest of the season. See you soon. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.